الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Once again, we give thanks to Allah Ta'ala, who by His infinite mercy allow us once again to come together on another very important gathering of the IIIT Central Nigerian Office. Today, inshallah, we are going to take another online lecture series. And this particular first in this series has to do with fundamental topics and the topics that are apt and timely for presentation, as well as for the Ummah to get aware of them and be able to understand this particular phenomenon. Alhamdulillah, the IIIT Central Nigeria Office, as a branch or as a chapter of the IIIT of the whole nation, it is understood that our focus is generally the Muslim Ummah and specifically the students. And specifically the student who forms part of the youth in this particular categorization. May Allah Ta'ala make it easy and guide us all. The chairman, inshallah, for this particular gathering today will be Malam Muhammad bin Isa, the 5-man committee man, the man with capacity and all that it takes. He is a lecturer from the Faculty of Arts, Department of Archaeology, and he will be chairing this particular program today. Today we will be having two presenters or lead speakers. The first one is Malam Hassan Abdulazeez, who is a lecturer with Federal University of Technology, Mina, and in the Cyber Security Department. He will be handling the first talk today, inshallah. The second speaker is Dr. Tajudeen Sanni, who is a lecturer with the Islamic University, International University in Uganda, Kampala, Uganda. He will, inshallah, be looking at the second topic, inshallah. But before we continue, inshallah, I will call on the chairman to make the opening remark for the meeting. Malam Muhammad bin Isa, are you listening to me? Are you with us? فليتفضل مشكورا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has spared our life and who has given us yet another opportunity to attend this very, very important program. A program that is organized by the IIIT Central Nigeria Office, centering at the youth, particularly the students, and seeing things that affect the youth with the view of bringing an Islamic perspective, or seeing how we can integrate knowledge as far as youths are concerned on very core issues that has to do with values, our core values, and also issues that has to do with information technology. It is very important to thank the organizers who has given us this opportunity. And it is my view and hope and prayer that at the end of this presentation, issues will be raised, assignments shall be given, so that at the end of the day, we are able to have a very important points and synergies are made so that people have some takeaways that they go on and reflect on it, and also put in place some of the things that we will all be learning. The first speaker, as we have all seen, is Madam Hassan Abdulazeez, who is going to be talking on the effects of information technology on the Muslim youth. While the second speaker, Dr. Tajudeen Sanni, who is also going to be talking about the Islamic core values and the present day derailment among the Muslim youths. So you can see all our topics and all the discussion today is centered on the youths, on one, issues of technology. How do we properly put technology in perspective? How do we integrate knowledge as far as information technology is concerned and domesticate it for Muslim youths to make proper use of it? Of course, we know today there is advancement in technology, there is advancement in so many issues, but are the youths who are the cream, are they using it the way they are supposed to use it? So this is very important and this is very central. Then the other issue also, which also refer to the youth, about the issue of derailment. We know a lot of our youth today, even with the use of the social media or issue of the technology, and beyond even the technology, some other things. You can see some of the things that happen in the country, issue of NSAS and so on and so forth. But we want to see how our core Islamic values, so many issues that youths are carried away with, how do we present the core Islamic value to this? And I'm very sure our resource persons are able, and inshallah we will do justice to these topics. Without further ado, let me invite our first speaker, a lecturer from Federal University of Technology, Mina, Madam Hassan Abdulazeez, who I will be within the next 30 minutes, I hope, will do justice to our discussion, inshallah. Thank you very much, Madam Hassan Abdulazeez, for فليتفضل. So, Madam Hassan Abdulazeez, فليتفضل مشكورا. I'm aware you have made an appeal. Please, your appeal has been granted.
You've not unmute my sharing. You disabled my sharing.
Pardon?
You disabled my sharing.
Okay, you're sharing. Please share now. Kindly share again. Share again.
Okay. I hope people have viewed me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Can we continue?
Yes, you can continue, please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I've already been introduced but maybe I still need to call myself again. My name is Abdulazeez, or Hassan Abdulazeez, from Department of Cybersecurity Science, School of Information and Communication Technology, Federal University of Technology, Mina. The topic today, effects of information technology on the Muslim youth, has been bothering my mind for a very, very long time. Why? Because the way the whole world is going today, we don't even need to go too far. If you look at what happened during the current COVID-19 crisis, most things of ours were later, at the beginning, were later transferred to what? To IT platform. You talk of classes, you talk of even buying things online, you talk of so many other things. Meaning information technology has become a very, very important tool that Muslims will not be allowed to be left out. If you look at the whole scenario, unlike the other technology that seems that as if we're caught unaware, information technology started in our presence. Most of the actors are still alive up to now as I'm talking to you. The person that brought the internet is WW technology, just died, I think, last year, meaning it's still within our contemporaries that the technology is revolving around. I may not need to go too far because of time. This is the outline, what we're going to discuss. We'll look at preamble. We'll look at general importance of IT to Muslims in our era. We'll look at IT as a tool for educational/dawah purpose. We'll look at IT for agitation and Muslim position on important issues. IT as a business/entrepreneurship opportunities for the Muslim youths. IT for self-development. IT as a profession. Basic IT tools to achieve the above, and the negative side of IT that the Muslim youths should be conscious of. When I saw the topic, that is effects of information technology on the Muslim youths, initially I was a little bit trying to see how to handle it, whether to go by the side effect much or to go by the advantage. But I have learned lesson because this particular topic, I have given so many lectures on it to different organizations in Abuja and across the country. I discovered a particular place in Abuja that I gave lecture. One of the brothers came to meet me. He said, "Well, Hassan, had it been I knew that this is what we are going to discuss, I wouldn't have come for the lecture because you have made me to be scared. Even holding phone will scare me very well." So I told him that no, we have so many areas that we can use IT as Muslims. So I've learned much lesson on that. I try to dwell on the area, how effective, let me put it that way, Muslim youths can use what? The technology itself. And again, we still need to caution ourselves on the side effect. I don't know whether we're following. We still need to caution ourselves on the side effect of the technology, because there is no way we can do everything in this world has its own side effect. Even the food we eat has its own side effect. But when the advantage of something has superseded the disadvantage, there is no way you can leave that thing completely. Even the era we are now, there's no way we can leave IT completely. We can't even leave it. Because I could remember my own uncle that brought me up at the beginning of using, because he happens to be a banker, at the beginning of using ATM, he told me he would use it because of what happened to his friend, and they were just going one day, and his friend just started seeing alert. You know, if you want to know people that value money most, they are the bankers. He started seeing alert, and he just called him that, look, I'm not on ATM, any ATM machine, but look at my alert coming in. So because of that, his single experience at the beginning, he told me that he's not interested in ATM and so many other things. But now, as I'm talking to you, he's not having option because you have to pay children's school fee. You have to do so many things. You have to buy online. I think he's even taking it more serious than myself as we are talking now. So let's just look at the preamble. What is information technology? Who are the youths? Then, who are the Muslim youths? Muslim versus / Islam and IT, any conflicts or surprise, and there's some important facts you need to know. That's just preamble. I try to look at different definitions of information technology, but the one I valued most because it's all encompassing is one I took from Science Direct, a very popular journal that most of us that are in technology use. And they picked the definition from International Encyclopedia of the Social and Behavioral Science. They define information technology. They define information technology as what? That it covers any form of technology that is any equipment or technique used by an individual, company, institution, or any other organization which handles information. It incorporates computing, telecommunication technologies, and include customer electronics and broadcasting as it's getting more and more digitalized or digitized. If you look at the definition, very wonderful. That is why you see the concept of information technology is usually mixed up with what? Information and communication technology. Usually you see people interchanging it because there's no crime there. You can use information technology or information and communication technology. This has covered so many things. The smartphone we use, the smart city, everything you think of, they still fall under what? Information technology. And again, who are the youth and then the Muslim youth? The UN said for statistical purpose. However, the youth, without prejudice or to any definition made by member state, is what? Those persons between the ages of 15. They did this definition in preparation for the International Youth Year, 1995. Then in Islam, who are the youths? Islam doesn't have defined age for youthful age. No, from the beginning, Malam that talk on the issue has already talked of the youth. I don't need to dwell on youth in Islam again because it's another topic on its own. The youth are the vibrant aspect of the society. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam valued youth so much that most of the very tasky assignments usually give it to the youth because of their being vibrant and so many other things they can do. Muslims / Islam and IT, any conflict or surprise? Is there any conflict? Not at all. In fact, if you look at IT very well, it is only Islam. If we check history, you talk of science, you talk of health, you talk of so many other things. It is only Islam that is not in conflict with science, right from history up to now. Other religion, is it the Christianity, is it the Hinduism, and others, they've had one problem or the other with the science because of the way science reason. But if you look at Islam, most of the discoveries that are coming now are not new to us. Then, instead Muslim can use IT to strengthen or understand some of his beliefs. Then what do you mean by that? Sorry, I'm going to give some examples here. If we Let me give some examples. Like recently, one of my friends that did his PhD in South Africa was narrating an incident that happened to him. He said he's a chemist. He was doing certain thing. He was doing experiment and took him up to around 11. So he was rushing to follow 12 o'clock bus. So you know, suddenly he saw somebody, a thief, enter the lab, and he was stealing something. He was picking some things. Because of the thing involving chemical, he couldn't challenge the thief. The only thing he could do was to try to chase him away, but he was able to go away with some things. But, so he said, instantly being a foreigner, he notified the security. The security immediately came and he asked him whether he has gone to that side that the whole thing happened. He said he has not gone there. He said he should not go there again. He asked him to go home. The following day, the security man brought policemen and they came with a scanner. They went there, they scanned the whole thing. He said in the next, was less than an hour, they brought somebody and said, they asked him whether it's this person. In fact, it's exactly that person that came to steal something there. So my friend was surprised and he was now, because he's not a scientist, he's not a computer person, wondering how did they, I just, inside myself, I told him, I said, look, this thing is not surprising. They use finger scanner. As a Muslim, we were told in the past that our predecessors were told, and we have the knowledge that on the day of judgment, your organs that used to commit certain evil, they are going to testify against you. You understand that your organs are going to testify against you. We're not saying that this side is going to be on this earth. The current technology has made us to know that it is possible what? Your organ will testify against you and you cannot even speak to save yourself, because this man cannot defend himself again. They didn't ask him whether he come here to steal, whether he didn't come here to steal. They scan all the things that he used his hand to touch, and that scanning machine testified that this hand has touched this place. The hand itself has testified that what? That he has come there, because everybody is having what? Different finger pattern. So as Muslims, it will strengthen us more that, okay, even though we're not told how this thing is going to speak against us, or how it's going to be that day, whether the hand is going to get mouth, like how they usually depict it in some social media or in internet. But no, we have known now that even on this earth, it is possible that what? That your hands testify against you without even opening your mouth. I'm going to give about 2-3 examples so that I will not waste time. Another example I will give, there was a day I was traveling with my friends. We're going to Calabar to attend, we're going to Cross River State to attend a program. We're invited by some Muslim brothers there. And after Kogi State, we couldn't locate, we don't know, if we pass Kogi State, we don't know the route that will take us to that place. We just on our Google map while we were going. On in the Google map, it was able to direct us to that very point we were going. It was able to direct us to that very point that we were going. And on our coming back, in fact, we're following on that route. Google Map told us that the road we're following now, that there is a shortcut. It shows the road that if we follow it, that the something is going to reduce more than 100 kilometers from our journey. And okay, we follow the Google Map because we believe Google Map is very, very effective. We enter inside bush and we're still going, we're seeing different animals because it was through one forest, but the road was still okay, we could follow it. And we discovered through that we're able to cut about 100 kilometers from the journey. As a Muslim, what do we make from this? If we human beings, if we can design a server, a map, a server, a technology that will monitor us wherever it is, where we're going, our position, and directing us, and they now tell you that Allah is on the seeing all your affair, whatever you are doing is one directing your affair, that every leaf that fall, he takes note of it. Then what is surprising you as a Muslim? What is surprising you as a Muslim, if we can design a technology like this, we that we are having very, very low knowledge, if we can design that the knowledge Allah has given us is something that is very, very small, minute, compared to what is knowledge. If we can use it to design something that will monitor us, it is not only me, monitor so many people at the same time, then are you now surprised that Allah that now created us can monitor us from his arish that is on top, up to wherever we are, anything that falls. If you can design something like this, then what is surprising Muslim? This thing should allow Muslim to know what? That it is really possible. Muslims of nowadays should now appreciate that all these things that Islam has been telling us that we believe, that Muslims of the past believe as a matter of belief. Because as a human being, you cannot sit down here and monitor people that is even within your neighbor in the next room. But with Google Map, you can locate so many people anywhere. In fact, you can even know a particular position, a particular house from the Google Map. So if we can do something like this, then what are we saying? What of the Allah that created us? Let me give another example, if possible, an additional 2 examples. I was discussing with some of my friends. I have a WhatsApp group that I created for cybersecurity, and I was discussing with some of my friends on the issue of cyber, how they should be careful while downloading some software, that you can download spyware, even though the software is working for you. That some people, you can download spyware along with your software, and it will be monitoring you. Whatever you are using your phone to do, it will be sending it to what? To the person that created that software. This thing was looking so that this phone you are using, even though you are not seeing that software, they can even send it secretly. It will install itself. It will be monitoring all your activities. So if this phone you are holding can do this, you are not even seeing that software. If Islam now tells you that there are angels by your side that is recording whatever you are doing, both good and bad, recording it, and you are not seeing that angels, that shouldn't surprise you again. You have to believe it. If you now believe that a software that you are not seeing inside your phone can do all those things, it can record whatever you are doing, all the activities you are using that phone to do, the internet, the websites you are visiting, all the geolocation you are going. In fact, if you are in Abuja now, it will tell you are in Abuja. In fact, sometimes secretly it will on your camera to view what you are doing and to record what you are discussing with people. If a technology can do something like this and you don't know it's doing it, if Islam now tells you that you have angels by your side that are recording you, you don't need to teach that angel for you to believe that you really know that it's possible with the technology. So the last one I will give, we have so many examples, so that I will not waste much time here because of our time. The last one I will give is the issue of software we're using. I've given this example so many ways. When we're young, some of our scholars, if they are preaching that time, if they were preaching that time, they will tell us that the risk, the wealth Allah is having, if He share the wealth to the entire world, it will not reduce anything from the wealth. Actually, as a human being, we don't doubt Islam. It's our religion. We have seen, like what one of the cooperative scholars said. He said, most of the things that scientists were able to discover today, they've discovered that it was 100% correct the way Islam described it. So you don't have any reason to doubt Islam again. If Islam is telling you something. So we have this belief that Islam will never tell us something that is not true. But as a human being, sometimes you think, Islam will be trying to create waswas inside your mind that, like now if you have 10 naira and you give 1 naira to somebody, it will remain 9 naira. Even no matter how the something is big, if you have 50 million naira now, or if you have 100 billion naira now, once you remove 1 naira from it, it will not be 100 billion again. It will be what? 99 billion up to the end. But the software world has really shown us that what? That it is really possible for you to have something you have and you share it, and it will not reduce. If I design a software now, like the Zoom software we are using now for this program and so many other ones, I can share it to billions of people, or the whole at 7 billion. They'll be using it comfortably. It will not reduce from my own what? It will not reduce from my own quality. It will not reduce anything from it. So we have seen that it is really possible. Sorry, are we following? Assalamu alaikum.
Well, with you, sir.
Are we following very well?
Yes, we are.
So we have really seen that what? That it is possible to share something and it will not reduce from the what? From the original thing. So all those things will make Muslims to be what? To appreciate technology, number one. Why? Because it has really made us to understand so many things that as a matter of belief, we just took it like that, the way it was, we were told then. But we have seen now that with the little knowledge the human being are having, with the era of IT, we can really what? See it clearly, practically, that all those things are possible. So let's not dwell our time much on this. Let's move further to some important facts. Brothers and sisters listening to me, if you look at it, some important facts you need to know. This fact is from where? It's from Statista. Statista is a very, very big website that keeps what? The details of every web activities across the whole world. If we look at it now, in Africa alone, the African population, we're talking of as 2020, we're talking of 30th September this year, the African population is said to be what? 1.3 billion people. That's 17% of the entire world. And the people online are what? Are around 631 million people. People using internet in Africa, they are around 631. That's 47% of the entire population of Africa. And the population of the whole world, 7.8 billion approximately. The people using internet there across the whole world is around what? 4.9 billion people. That's 63% of the entire world population. And the people using internet in Nigeria, they are what? Over 150 million people. Sorry, it may look boring. I'm going to explain to you the ends of this statistic. Smartphone users in the whole world are over what? 3 billion. Smartphone users in Nigeria were over at 5 million. Social media users across the whole world are over what? 3.6 billion. Approximately, if you take average percentage of all, Facebook alone is over 4 billion now. And social media users in Nigeria, they are over what? 24 million. Then what do we make from this statistic? Brothers and sisters, I used to say one thing. I said, what makes Lagos and Kano to be very, very important in the country? Please, what makes it to be very important is the population. If you are doing business in Lagos, you know there is population that you'll be able to sell to, they will buy. If you advertise anything, to go far. If you want to advertise product in Lagos, anything in Lagos now, it will cost you more than if you want to advertise similar thing and work in Ondo State. Why? All of them are having water boundary. If you think it's only water that Lagos is having, both of them, they are having airport and so many other things. But the population in Lagos makes Lagos to be very, very important business center and commercial activities, how it is usually called. The same thing to Kano. So, and you can easily reach people and they'll buy your product. Brothers and sisters, with this technology we're having, with this phone, I'm using my desktop. Most of us watching this program, we're watching it through what? Through our smartphones. Meaning the simple implication of this is that what? We can reach over 150 million people sitting down inside our room with our other activities. You not leave your bed space. You can do it at night, no risk, nothing. Are we following? So over 150 million of Nigerians, you can read them with your smartphone just lying down at your comfort inside your room. You don't need to travel. You don't need to do so many things. And again, in addition, you can reach over what? 631 million Africans staying where? Inside your room, inside your working place. You don't need to travel. It is what? Distance. It is not having distance barrier. It is not having any barrier. It is not risky. It has nothing to do with your disposition, where you are. No. So this technology is very important that we can use it for so many things. That is why you can't ignore it. I don't want to bore us with so many facts. We have it that youths, they spend what? Over between 4 to 8 hours averagely on social media, and so many statistics like that. Meaning these people at our fingertip, just pressing button, we can disseminate information to them. That is why this technology is very, very important for the youth, for dawah activities, and for so many other things. That is why you can't ignore it. If you continue to ignore it, if you continue to misuse it, it will be to our own disadvantage. That is why we have to take it serious. What are the general importance of IT to the entire Muslim in this era? I've just explained some now. Entire globe at your reach with affordable cost. If I buy 100 naira data now, I can share very important information through my WhatsApp, through any media, through all the media, or any of the media in UK, in US, in anywhere you think of. I can share it comfortably with them, and I'll still have my data still remaining to do other activity. So it's very comfortable. You just stay in one corner of the world and you read the entire globe, especially people that are online there. Another importance of this technology is what? You can easily direct toward a particular interest group, ethnic group, or language. You can see the people you want to communicate with. You can create WhatsApp groups now for who? For Muslim converts. You can create Telegram group for Muslim converts. You can create Telegram group for your tribal Muslim group, so that any communication you are going to do is going to be in your machine language, I mean your dialect. You understand? So you can easily sieve the people you want to communicate with, and it is very easy. Unlike if you are doing that, if you want to do dawah in ABU now, during MSS, dawah or jihad, it depends on what you call it, or any other place in the country, there's no way you can sieve the people you are communicating to, especially if you are using speaker. But this one, you can sieve anybody, your target group, and you are good to go. Another one, no visa requirement, no physical security risk, or physical security risk is very, very minimal. All those things are very minimal. What do you mean by this? I don't need to, at this point, they have explained themselves. If I want to communicate to Muslims across the globe now, I don't need to take permission from US government or take visa. It is very easy for me to do that. If you remember, during when Ahmedidat was alive, he wanted to come to Nigeria to come and give lecture, I think during Babangida era. So the government blocked him because they said he happens to be a security threat or risk that time. Just basically, they don't want to offend the Christian community. With the current technology we're having now, we don't need to invite Zakir Naik to Nigeria, another cooperative personality, or we don't need to invite our own here, Sheikh Yusuf Mabera, to any other part of the country or the world. We can organize this type of Zoom lecture. You give it to the people that is going to give it to, without stressing himself to go to travel, to take the risk of following, especially now that we're having kidnapping activities, robberies, and so many other things. The technology has made it easy to stay in one corner. If I tell you where I'm giving this lecture from now, inside yourself, you just laugh. I was thinking of where I could get a very good internet, and I have good internet in my house, but because of the epileptic nature of the light, I said, no, I can't afford to risk it. I went to my wife's working place. I stay in their library because it's hospital, and they are having light always. They won't afford not to get light because of surgery and other things going there. I can stay anywhere and give lecture comfortably without thinking of my people not receiving me. No. Like before, you can't invite somebody to come for our activity in FUT minute now that happens to be. I say that person should be in Suleja and be giving the lecture. It's not possible. This one has really has brought so many barriers down that it is very easy. The risk is not there. The government policy doesn't affect it much. And so many other things. You don't need to spend on transporting that person down. The highest you need to do is to do what? Is to, if you wish, to give money to such person to buy data, and that is all. Because now everybody is having what? Everybody is having the requirement for the technology, the smartphone, the computer, and other things. The next one is what? The ubiquity of the technology and its trust in the modern global lifestyle. Unlike before, that people don't have trust in the technology because of the risk, because of the monitoring and so many other things. People have put that one aside because, like what I've said now, everything in this world is having side effect. Everything in this world. The only thing that is not having side effect is Islam. You know why? Any challenge you face on the cause of Islam, you get reward for it. There's no side effect. Only because we don't pray for challenges. If not, we have prayed for challenges while on the path, because it is going to give you what? More reward. Like the hadith of Prophet that even as a Muslim, if it is thorn that took your leg, it will what? If you are sick, it will be removing your sin up to the extent that what? That you come up with no sin again. So it is only Islam that is not having side effect. We are not on that topic. I don't need to move there. I just want to be pure technology person today and see how we're going to apply it in our own lifestyle. So the technology has really gained ground, and we don't need to disturb ourselves again. Everybody is having smartphone. Everybody will join this class now without fear of what? Being victimized or anything. The technology has come to stay. Everybody has accepted it the way it is. So we don't need to fear again. Then, how can Muslims use this technology for educational purpose and dawah purpose? We're still on what? Towards effective use of the technology. That's positive side of effect. You see, this IT has become main tools for educational and dawah purposes. This one is too numerous to mention. We have so many educational websites, so many dawah websites, so many things. We can't mention all of them. The conventional place where Muslim youth can learn, develop themselves, download videos. You have Udemy. Sorry, Udemy, there is a mistake here. Udemy is having this former data. Udemy is having over 50 million people, over 50 million students as I'm talking to you now, learning different things. In Udemy, you can learn how to make soap, you can learn how to program, you can learn how to be a marketer. They will teach you, you don't need to travel out, you stay back at the back of your this thing, you learn so many things. It's a website that every Muslim need to use to learn whatever they want to learn. We have so many of them, but this is the most popular one. We have some free one that we can easily reach. If you browse it, free learning websites. So Udemy is very important. It is well organized. They have over 50 million students learning different, doing diploma, doing so many things. Brothers and sisters, our contemporary university system, the physical one, up till now, I don't know university that is having up to 500,000 students. It is not going to be easy to manage them. You think of space, you think of classroom, you think of so many other things. You think of security risk on certain. You think of how to control the student. Even the little one we're having in our school, up to now, our students, they are not up to 20,000. FUT Mina, we're not up to 20,000 up to now as I'm talking to you. It is not easy for the security to handle the control. But this one is not like that. Once you create the platform, so many people will come and they will learn whatever they want to learn. You don't need to see them. They will get their certificate and you go away. And let me tell you, recently at this last COVID-19, this COVID-19 era, in my forum, I posted some free web learning websites or some universities that brought out some learning programs to keep people busy. People that are in my forum, some of them, about 3 people communicated me, and they sent the certificate they got from the distance. Mind you, in this our country, Nigeria, we don't have much this thing on certificate, we're online certificate, but let me give you a hint. Professor Oloide said recently that it's just a matter of time. Very soon, online certificate will be recognized because it has become a world standard. With our experience, the last COVID-19 issue, we don't need to what? We don't need to fear again. We don't need to fear again that if you get the certificate, you don't know what you're going to use because it has become reality. Islamic Online University is having over 500,000 students now. So this one, you can learn so many things about Islam there. And it is owned by Dr. Bilal Philip. And people are running masters, they are running diploma program, they are running first degree from different usul fiqh and so many other things, Arabic and so many other things. So people can take advantage of this. You talk of Sharia program from Yusuf Mulan, where you learn Arabic. You talk of Islamic Q&A, where you search for so many things you need. Any question, the website is being controlled by our respected Sheikh that is currently inside the prison. May Allah hasten his release. And you talk of Sheikh Ahmad Musa Jibril classes. In fact, these classes, I really enjoyed. In the classes, he said something that is very important. He says scholars categorize learning into 3. Scholars of the past categorize learning into 3. Number 1, learning directly in the front of scholars, which is the best. Secondly, learning through sending somebody to go and learn from the scholar and come and tell you, like the one Umar Radiallahu anhu used during the era when while he was rearing his, while he be family or rearing animal, his colleague, his friend, will go and listen to Prophet to come and tell him, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and when the colleague is on vacation, he to go and learn. This one is very important. It's the second best. And the last one is what? Reading material. But Sheikh Ahmad Musa Jibril said that learning through online, he can place his second this time around because of what? Because you can read the material of the scholar, you watch his video, and you can organize conference lecture for the scholar so that the student will join the way we are now. Everybody will be listening, you'll be seeing the scholar live, you'll be hearing so many things from me. You ask him questions. He says he placed it second above other ones, except below what? Sitting down directly in front of the scholar like this. The COVID-19 era classes, I don't need to explain that one. Most schools what? Most schools during this COVID-19, they organize classes, virtual classes for the student. They learn it and everybody gain a lot. They undergo virtual exams and so many other things. You have different children educational apps that are too numerous to measure. There's one my son is using now that once you touch Arabic letter on it on the smartphone, it will tell you this alifun, this is ba'un, this is alif fatah, this is ba fatah ba, and every other things it will be pronouncing for them. In fact, mixing things up, bringing letters, bringing all this A for apple. They've digitalized it now for Muslim this thing. It is area we need to, and again, so many other useful apps like Hisnu Muslim, Hadith.do, where if you are doing any dawah work, if you have Hadith.do, I don't know how many of you are using it. Once you just, if you need Hadith about marriage, you enter it. It will bring so many Hadiths on the issue of marriage, and you pick anyone, especially if you are chatting online discussion, you just copy that Hadith and paste it. It makes the whole thing easy for you, though it makes you lazy memorizing Hadith, but again, it will help you if you need. It makes Hadith very close to you. You have Shamila. I don't need to explain Shamila because most of us know Shamila. That is an Islamic library. You have Quran, search Quran, that is like Hadith.do. If you need anything to know inside Quran about marriage, you just put it. It will bring so many verses about marriage for you. All these things make things easy. Then what do you gain from this? Please, we need more. Despite they are existing, we still need to do more. Muslim youth need to do what? To do more and let people benefit from it. I have told some youths when the last time I was talking to area unit, Niger State area unit on the issue of technology, I told them, I said, look, if you want to do Sadaqah to Jariyah, you meet what? You develop app. Look, my phone now, I've not memorized all the dua in Hisnu Muslim, but my phone now, my smartphone, I have Hisnu Muslim app there that anywhere anyone I need to lay my hand on, I just open it and I read it. Do you know the reward that they brought? And I downloaded the software free. You are seeing it to be free, but the brother that downloaded it, if Allah accepts it as a good work, if he's having good intention and Allah accepts it, do you know millions of people will be using it? Millions of people can be using the app. I saw a particular app that over 100, close to 100 million Muslims downloaded. Do you know the reward you'll be getting anytime people are using the apps? So it is opportunity for the Muslim youth to venture into this area, educational areas. Download, you can go down to your local scholars, try to develop apps that will make people to be able to read them easily. You understand? Develop app that once, we have so many areas there, once you want to talk to a particular person, just click it and it will knock on the scholars, a particular scholar, you tick the scholar, click the click button, it will knock on that scholar's distance. If it's free that time, it can give you opportunity. We have so many areas that we can come in here that we cannot mention. So many areas. I've just mentioned, look at a particular, especially on the issue of software development. Look at a particular area. I told you now of Google Map. We can develop app now, although we have some of them existing, that if you find yourself in a particular place, it should be able to tell you a mosque location closest to you, like the one you have for restaurant, ATM, and other things. The mosque location, or it will tell you if you're in Kaduna, this is where Mike hold these activities, this is where this group holds these activities, this is why MSS hold these activities, and those are the days and other things. So to make it, if you develop this type of app as a youth, it will be easy for you. You get the reward. You don't need to sell it. You can also sell it if you think, and if it's even if it's having that download, people advertise there and you get your money without even selling the app. If you have an app that will have over 50 million people that download it now, people can advertise there. So many people, because all these records are being kept of people using your app, and other apps advertisement will come there, you get your money without even selling the software, and you get the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All those things are opportunity for us to get it and get our own reward. And you keep Muslims, people busy with useful things that will prevent them from what? From going into something that is haram. Let's go to another one. IT for agitation and Muslim position on important issues. Thank God the madam that introduced us to the program just talk of NSAS issue. If you look at the world, the global world, what is happening now, it is very easy to mobilize the whole world through what? Through this small device people are holding. In fact, you can mobilize over 50 million people across the world within the shortest time. Sorry, are we still following? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. We are.
Are we following?
Yes, we are.
We are with you.
So you can mobilize the entire world, 50 million people, within what? In less than an hour. Of which the conventional way of mobilizing people is not easy. You have to go. If our government will just cage you, not be able to do it. Police will be monitoring you. They can even surround your house. But no, with this technology, it's very possible. We don't even need to explain it further. You look at Black Lives Matter in US that just happened recently. They mobilize people across US, across the entire world, with the small smartphone people are having, and people were demonstrating, and it forced US government, it forced the Trump that people know is that he's pro-white to come out and act on the issue. Look at our NSAS. Brothers and sisters, look at our NSAS that just happened recently. Nobody go house by house. People did not go house by house, what? To mobilize people to come out for NSAS. No, it didn't happen like that. But what really happened? Through the smartphone, somebody just posted in one of the social media what NSAS has done to the person, and the information was very pathetic, and it activated everybody. Sorry for using the computer term. It activated everybody, and people started taking action spontaneously, that it was almost out of hand, if not because it later came, some people later tried to hijack it. I'm not into the political matter of the whole thing now, and it now killed the whole movement. Look at the Arab Spring that overthrown most Arab leaders of our time, the Hosni Mubarak, the Saddam Hussein, and recently that of the Sudan. It didn't, you know, the way Arab autocratic leaders are. You can't even try it to say that you want to go to public to go and campaign against them. That's the last time people will see you live. They will see you and nothing will happen. So, what do you mean by this? Meaning this technology is very, very important for what? The Muslim youths to venture into and to direct the way they use it. And look at even the current boycott, France boycott. Very wonderful that France started sending people. Muslim youth did not pack themselves to take flight to go to France to go and complain or go to UN, go to this, go to that. No. Or France embassy, go there in your country. No. They didn't do that. It's just through this pressing 1 or 2 buttons, and everybody switched into action mode. And before you know, they started displaying most of the products of France, and people started walking, boycotting, and France started feeling the heat, accusing this one of this, accusing their allies of not coming to help them, accusing media, crying like a baby. Just from where? From the use of social media. Most of the this about France eating, I receive it in my Telegram, I receive it on my what? On my WhatsApp. Very, very simple, very easy, and the whole thing, everybody switch into action mode, and we humble the arrogancy of the French government. Very arrogant people. So this technology that is very important, what do? We have to organize ourselves. We have to organize ourselves. We have to do so many things to have direction. We should not just jump into action. We have to group ourselves. Muslims need to, how do we manage this technology? We need to create blog, like MSS now. MSS is not having blog. IIIT, I don't know whether people are having blog now. I've not seen your blog. And so many, Micah is not having blog. Blog is a very important technology, so I'm still going to explain it. We call it what? Online journal, where a particular interest is being this thing. People start, like in Nigeria, how many Muslim bloggers do you have? We don't even have. If you have the blogger, they don't care about Islam. If MSS is having blog now, where it's just like a small website, a micro website, where issues are discussed and people start interacting, you put news. It's not like, don't confuse blog with our contemporary Telegram also. No, blog is far, far useful more than it. It is directed. It is what? It is directed. It is specific. People communicate there. In fact, most of the times, government join blog, government of the whole world, they join blog to see what people are discussing about important issue, people's reaction to news. Everything will be there. It is easy to touch. It is easy to maneuver. Once you have blog like that, issues like this, you put it in your blog. From your blog, people in your blog, because you design blog in a way that once something happens in your blog, it will knock your door. There is a news in the blog. You go through that link and you see what is on ground, people's reaction to it. Actually, this technology, they are usually similar, but they have specific things that make them to be unique. I hope we're still following. They have specific things that make it to be what? To be very, very unique. That we enjoy it. You enjoy using it and use it for very useful purposes. We can use our Telegram for this. We can use our WhatsApp for this. But we can't just be using it anyhow. We need to organize ourselves. You need to group ourselves. Create this one for this purpose. Create this one for this purpose. You can create for Islamic medicine. You can create people that are there. One that is important in you. You push it there. They are Muslim. They understand what you are saying, and we start taking action. So we need to organize ourselves to achieve this very important goal of agitation and what? Mobilizing people. Let's not waste our time there. IT as business, entrepreneurship opportunity for the Muslim youths. Brothers and sisters, next 15 minutes. Okay, I'll try to run to. I'm sorry, this one of the areas when people gave me this topic, as if you say IT is already used. If you look at it, FUT Mina, we are now having what? Faculty of IT, like Faculty of Engineering. It's just like telling somebody to come and discuss engineering. So we're going to this is just summary of what we're discussing. I was expecting that people call me to come and discuss social media alone, discuss internet alone, discuss other things, so because of time. So let me just rush. Let me not cut from my time. IT as business opportunity. With the COVID-19, I don't need to tell you what IT as a business can mean. You just buy something from Jumia, buy things from Konga, buy things from so many other ones, from AliExpress, and they will deliver it where? Direct to your house. Jumia said they sell every what? Every 2 seconds. Are we following? Jumia said they said every 2 seconds, the settings. And you know the funniest thing? Jumia is not selling any product. They just created the platform and you are good to go. You advertise your product there, you buy virtual shop, you advertise your product, they help you advertise it and you sell. And they sell what? They sell every 2 seconds. Look at it. And whatever you sell on Jumia, you are going to remit, I think, 15% of the gain, of your gain to them. And they are rich, richer than people that are even selling there. And they are not selling anything. People are using social media. Like I know a sister that just WhatsApp status ago, he advertised her own WhatsApp status. He advertised things there, and he couldn't satisfy the customer that will be asking 1 or 2 things. Youths can do more here, and they keep themselves busy and gain from it. We can design a WhatsApp for what? Islamic medicine and so many other things. We can design WhatsApp. We can advertise we can design a platform just for Islam. I saw a platform recently that are just for fruits and not these fruits alone. We have vast opportunity. Are you thinking that the place is filled up? It's not filled up. Remember, before we have Jumia, Konga, AliExpress, all other ones are existing. If they said that because this one are already existing, or because Jumia, Konga is existing, Jumia will not come again. No. The market is very, very large. Only you have to make yourself what? Your own unique. And that is all. Nothing else. Once you make yourself unique, like now you design a platform to sell what? Islamic products, Islamic medicine, so many other things, where you buy jalabia, where you do other things, the location and other things. People come and advertise there. Some brothers are trying here. I could remember brother called me. They sent their link to me recently, and they make me admin there, where you buy all those things just for my own contribution. People are really trying, but we need to do more. We need to have our own. We cannot just be buying from people and we're not taking advantage of the platform. We can create it, not too much about it. At this COVID-19 alone, a brother learned how to code and he challenged me recently. He said he can do something like Jumia. Just COVID-19, and the brother is working. He's working, and he's even very busy where he's working. You just have to challenge yourself, you discipline yourself. IT for self-development. Because of time, I don't have, let me just give 2 examples here. I met a very wonderful youth in my town that is a tailor. I was wondering if from a top politician, and is this, is that, they are having money. I said, why will you, and he's a graduate, he speaks Polish English. Let me use our Dambo codes. He speaks Polish English. I said, with you like this, I agreed to go and learn a tailoring work. Where did you learn it? He said, no, they have machine in their house. While he was waiting for NYC, he discovered that cash is not flowing again like the way it used to flow. I said, instead of wasting his time, they have machine at home online. Let him learn how to sew. He started sewing there. He started learning it, how to cut. He browsed, he saw it on YouTube, watched the video, read about it, how to do this, how to do that. He said the first time he happened to sew clothes for himself, he was just going and somebody said, Abdulazeez, who sewed this clothes for you? He said, no, it's me. I did it myself. The man was so happy. He said he's going to give it, that he liked this time. He said he did it, and he did it in a way that the man didn't like it. Because the man was fatter than him, quick, he went into the web again and browsed how to cut clothes for the browse people. Just browse is how to. Before you know, he's one of the best tailors in our town now. In fact, it's even my own personal tailor. Our deputy governor the deputy governor of our state gave him 50 pieces of clothes recently to sew for him because he's tailor. One of the top shots in our team gave 20. In fact, for him to, he has so many people. He said he wants to even organize tailoring school. Let me just put that one aside. In my place I stay, I'm talking of Mina, Niger State. The best IT computer repair, software and hardware we have there, a very young guy there. Because of the way I don't have time again to repair computer, I usually direct people there. In fact, myself, I take my own there because doing hardware and doing other works is not easy for me. I usually take my own there. One day I was forced, his level of, is it Linux, is it Windows? It was superb. I asked him, I said, where did you learn this your computer from? He said he didn't learn from anybody. He learned it online. I said, what do you mean? He said his teacher is in India. They usually log on to him, whatever is the latest thing, and that is all. He will tell them, and they continue experimenting it. He will demonstrate it through video. You see it, you download, you watch, you ask questions, and that is all. A very wonderful technology that we can take advantage of. Our youth can keep themselves busy. They can do, in fact, there are so many online classes now where you learn how to do hijama, where you learn how to do this, how to do that. You do it, you get your certificate that will be recognized. But as we can do more. We can repeat what is existing and improve on it. We can create our website that people can come to learn all those physical skills, borrow from what is saying, study it, look at what is so important about it, improve on your own. The technology is not hidden. You can read online, you know how to program, you program it. In fact, you have software now that will help you to develop the code for all those things. I have a friend that learned speaking Arabic from YouTube. And today, if we attend classes of Dr. Yusuf Alawiye on YouTube, he takes Arabic from beginning. I used to tell someone, I say, Kai, even if you go to learn certificate course in Arabic, you can't get it like that because he explained it from the beginning to up till wherever you want to understand it to. You have so many of that video like that online they can use for self-development and so many other things. We don't have time. IT as a profession. IT as a profession, areas that we need our youth now in IT, you talk of artificial intelligence, ethical hacking and countermeasure, programming, those are reigning this thing that Muslims, we need our own there. Artificial intelligence is what is reigning now. Most of the smartphones now, they use the concept of artificial intelligence to track, to even monitoring you and so many other things. All this government we are talking of, to create our own technology, we need our youth to go into it. Ethical hacking, the hacking, like now, We have so many hacking groups. We have Algeria Electronics Army. We have Syria anonymous hackers. We have so many hacking groups, and we have Chinese anonymous hackers. Muslims, we need to reorganize ourselves. This hacking, once you are having it, it is very difficult. Like this current France saga. If they know that Muslims group are having hacking, anonymous hacking group like that, most of them will be very careful because they know that you can bring the website down, you can bring so many things down that things will not be functional there. That's why we need to go to all these areas. We need to know programming, big data. Those are different careers in IT now. Big data, digital forensic, network engineering, database administration, cybersecurity in general, cyber warfare. I have loved to explain this thing, but we don't have time. Let me just move ahead for more. What are the basic IT tools that we need to achieve this? Social media, very, very important. We can learn, I've explained, we can learn any tool or service that uses the internet to facilitate conversation is called social media. We have Facebook, we have blogging, we have webmail, we have Telegram, we have so many of them as listed here. We exchange information, we collaborate, we do so many things using our social media. Let me just pick some basic one that I know is very important. Blogging. I've just explained the little way we can use blog now. Anybody that needs we don't have time, can go here and go through this thing, educate, you build community there, you do so many things there. People are coming events, Ramadan is coming now, you post it on your blog, so many of that, how to do this, how to do so many things we use blogs to do. We have a webinar, the one we are using now. We can use it to arrange classes for our scholars. Youth can use it. MSS can arrange, Triple IT can arrange, and so many other groups, MICA and our different groups can arrange lectures for the new Muslim through this technology. We can do much with the technology. We can call scholars that you know that people believe in. Scholars that you know that people believe in. You can call them, fix appointment with them, organize this, and you see the turn up of people. Some of them you can get so many people there, and you keep on educating the Muslim community at a very, very low cost. You talk of YouTube, I've just explained YouTube now. Look at a very wonderful statistic about YouTube. We don't have time. YouTube has about 2 billion users, according to statistics across the world. 79% of internet users have what? YouTube account. Every day, people watch over 1 billion hours. People spend 1 billion hours on YouTube. In fact, 78% of marketers, they prefer using YouTube. YouTube for business is another topic. In fact, social media for business is another topic. So Muslims can use this existing technology. We have Islam tube. We have so many tubes now. Even this existing, we can take the advantage of it because some people are always here and maximize it. Telegram. I used to tell people that Telegram is the most underused social media app. It has so many advantages that we don't have time to explain it here. It is very, very, the only thing I can tell you here is more secure. The groups like WhatsApp group now, up to now, I think we have maximum of 275 people that you can include on WhatsApp. Like this Zoom we're using now, if you're using free version of Zoom, it's 100 people you can include. If you're using the paid version, 1,000 people. But Telegram has unlimited channel this thing that you can use to communicate with people. You can use the channel, you can upload video up to 1.5 gig, and it has, at a time, unlike WhatsApp that you have very low video capacity you can use, but that you can use this technology to the fullest capacity. I don't have time to explain Telegram. I've explained it to your own this thing. Internet generally, all this technology we're talking about, the social media and all those things, they are inside internet, and we'll have more. A very good website that people will learn one or two things from. People advertise on, create platform, and so many other things. Internet is a tool we can use for, or to learn the programming and so many other things there. Let's quickly rush the negative side effect of IT that we need to know. Cyber predators. Please give me time small to explain this thing because they are very important. This is another angle of the lecture completely. What do you mean by cyber predators? Recently, because you don't see that person physically in most of those things, somebody can pretend to be whom he is not. Recently, a very embarrassing event happened where somebody deceived some of her sisters that he want to marry them. Even married sisters fell victim of something that up to the extent when else be like that they were sending their nude picture to this personality because of the way the person treated them. In fact, the issue became so serious that we have to intervene. We have to trace the person. Unfortunately, the person happens to be a Muslim that called himself brother too. We have to trace the person and brought him out and caution people involved. We made different calls. So this thing is very, very serious. The predator they can deceive you. They can do so many things. They can even use technology to edit video, edit picture. That is why I usually caution people that every small thing, they paste videos, they paste pictures and so many other things online. It's very, very dangerous, especially pasting your picture. They can edit your picture, convert it into video in a way that that they will use it for so many. In fact, they will remove your head and put it into pornographic personality that if you are not careful, people think you are the one. So we have to be very, very careful what you send online because once you send it, you don't have control over it again. Social media addiction. Some people, or even generally IT addiction, let me put it that way. Some people every minute, in fact, if they don't, that's what they call fear of missing out, FOMO, FOMO, fear of missing out. In fact, some people, once they finish praying like this, the first thing they will do, check people's WhatsApp, check their Facebook. The last time, 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, maximum 2 hours ago, midnight, you see them, 3, you see them, the time for Azkar, the time for Tahajjud, you see them on this thing. So people are addicted to it, except we direct people on proper usage of it. It can destroy so many people. It can destroy the youth that are investing in this technology holistically. Financial crime. People have lost money to IT. People's account has been hacked. Those are areas we need to dwell on that we don't have time again. We have so many ways hacking your account, filling in some dubious website that ask you of information that you don't know, cloning website to look genuine, and you enter a credit card details here, and they will hack it. They will sweep all your money. Poor academic performance. Youth, this thing is seriously affecting youth. In fact, as a lecturer, sometimes if we are marking some people's scripts, all those short English shortcuts they use as English, they write it these days because, in fact, children of nowadays, they don't even know, most of them don't know spelling again because of the way they summarize things. In fact, you'll be teaching some people, they put their smartphone under and be chatting. So it has really affected them seriously. That most things, and also if you use this thing, we need proper education because if you use this thing always, if you use this thing always, you can go to a website that can improve. I've mentioned some website that can improve your academic activity. So also if you don't direct it well, it can lead to poor academic performance. Spyware. Most phones are having spyware and they don't know about all these things. People can monitor activities. We have to be very careful what to download. Most of those free apps. Most of what we hear what happened recently about some Islamic apps selling our details to people. Talk of immorality is another very important area. Pornographic everywhere. Most websites, if you visit them, what you see is very appalling as a Muslim. We have to learn how to coordinate, control all those things. You have some apps, porn block apps That's once you install them, anything involving pornographic, it will just block it. You'll not be able to open it. We need all those things to put them our children website, children phone and so many, even our own phone too, so that if you want to download some from certain website, all those very useless applications that will display pornography as advertisement, it will block them automatically. We need to educate people on all those. Misinformation, very important aspect of this. Another side effect for the youth. If we look at this last EndSARS as example, so many Muslim youths were misinformed, and they came out. In fact, some of them were arguing with me. I told them that, I said, look, I'm not after the goal you put after. I'm not saying SARS is this. I'm not saying government is right, government is wrong, you are right, you are wrong. But this thing has been hijacked some people. They are destroying mosques in some places. They are killing Muslims in Southeast. Some of them called me from one media, called me from the back, and was challenging me until I explained to him on the whole issue. So if you don't have structure to control this thing, it can misinform our youth, misform Muslims, and it will what? Destroy so many people. What else would be like? Bullying. I don't need to explain on this one because it's not common here. In overseas, some people commit suicide because of bullying. Bullying is activity that involves what? Somebody threatening to kill you, to deal with you, using social media, using everything. It's not common here, and as a Muslim, I don't know why you go and commit suicide because somebody's trying to kill you. He has not come to kill you. Instead of even thinking of how to defend yourself, you choose the option of going to commit suicide. If not the white, that sometimes you don't understand the way they do things. This one is not very important. I don't think we need explanation. Please, subsequently, this is just an advice. All those things, we take them peripherally. We need in-depth class. Some people have called me alone on how to come and explain social media proper usage. Even social media alone is too much. If you pick theory, you can't even finish it. So coming to explain IT, because now I'm feeling I've not really touched areas I want to touch because I have to summarize it. Because it's something that it has come to stay. We need to know how to use it. We need to explain to people the way they should use it, the technology involved, the software they need. So it is something that is all encompassing. We don't have much time. Let me not delve into my very good friend, Dr. Tajudeen Sanni, a very good friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, that is going to hold the next lecture. So let me just say thank you very much, Jazakumullahu khairan, for listening while waiting for your question and answer. Sorry for going a little bit below, above my time. It is just because of the way the topic is. The time is still very small for me to dwell on some very important issue. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Malam Hassan Abdulazeez. In fact, I am overwhelmed. I have been taking note and noting so many issues. Moving from one place to another, I can see you have so much to say. And I was wondering that actually this is a very important topic, very topical, and I'm beginning to see we need to discuss with the coordinator and director of programs in our capacity building for the youth. Perhaps we need to look at this area, and inshallah we will be looking at how to reach to you so that we see how we collaborate in capacity development as far as information technology is concerned. But most sincerely, we are most grateful. We thank you so much for this very elucidate and wonderful presentation. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly.
Amen,
And let me use a very interesting word of us. May Allah al-barakate you.
Amen,
Yeah.
amen.
We are most grateful. Inshallah, for those that have questions, please keep writing them on the chat so that later on when we take the second presentation, I can see he's already sharing his screen. We'll now come to those questions. So please, everybody, those that have questions, please just keep writing them on the chat, and gradually we'll be taking note of them so that by the time we come for question and answer session, we'll be discussing about them. Our next presenter, Dr. Tajudeen Sanni. Dr. Tajudeen Sanni is with International University Kampala. He will be looking at the second aspect which we have discussed earlier on. And because of time, I don't want to overflow issues. Dr. Tajudeen is well known to us, and we hope, inshallah, we will all listen to him rapidly and for him to make his presentation. Dr. Tajudeen, فليتفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Thank you very much for having me, and I must actually thank the organizers for inviting me to share my thoughts, and I also thank the last presenter, Madam Hassan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly. Now, the topic I've been asked to discuss is Islamic core values.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Tajudeen.
Salam.
Can you change it to slide mode, please?
Can you see? Can you see it now?
It's coming. No, it has not turned to slide mode yet. Slide mode. Slide mode, I mean.
Yeah, it's in slide mode.
Depends on the app he's using. He can still go ahead like this.
Can you see it?
Yeah, you need to be more audible, please. Go ahead, you are first. We are seeing your screen.
Fine. Okay, fine. Bismillahi wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. The topic I've been asked to discuss is Islamic core values and present-day derangement of Muslim youth. As we all know, values are a very critical aspect of our lives. More critical is the ability to discern what I call the normative hierarchy of the values in terms of importance, namely what is core and what is not core. In other words, there are some values which are fundamental, and there are others which are not fundamental, and they may also be important as well. The quality of our values determines the quality of our lives. This topic I've been given is meant to actually discuss the values a Muslim is supposed to uphold and why our youth shouldn't derive from such values. Now, I would like to illustrate the idea of value in this imagery that you can see here on the screen. You have what I call concentric cycle. Now, there is the core of the core, and the core of the core, and the core of the core. In other words, you have some values which are very, very important and very, very fundamental, which we have others which are in the next hierarchy, the others which are in hierarchy after that. I've listed some of those values for which a Muslim is known, such as faith, worship, noble character, decency, honesty, truthfulness, integrity, charity, knowledge, humility, patience, humanitarianism, moderation, gratitude, hard work, prudence, sacrifice, sunnatic relation, moral fastidiousness, and so on and so forth. Now, there is a very important illustration the Prophet ﷺ has done for us in order to illustrate the idea of the values a Muslim is supposed to uphold, or for which a Muslim should be well known. And there is another illustration by the Prophet ﷺ which shows the struggle of life in the midst of the storms and challenges that we all face in our daily livelihood. In a hadith narrated by Ibn Masud, the Prophet ﷺ was reported to have drawn a line, and then after drawing that line, a straight line, and also drawing side lines on the two sides of the line. The Prophet ﷺ pointed to the one in the middle, which is straight, and he said, "This is a straight path." And then he also pointed to those ones which are not straight, which are crooked, and he said, "These are deviant paths, the path of values that are not correct, which a Muslim is not supposed to uphold." And after doing that, the Prophet ﷺ recited this verse of the Quran. He said, "Inna hazihi sirati mustaqima fattabi'uhu wa la tattabi'u subula The Prophet ﷺ says, this is the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is straight, follow it and do not follow other paths which are crooked, paths which have the wrong values. Then the other illustration done by the Prophet in another time is that of a square. The Prophet ﷺ drew a square which illustrates, life. And then inside the square, there is, a line which indicates, or represents a human being as he moves from one trial of life to the other. And at the end of the day, is going to meet his ajal, his death, in the midst of all this struggle. Now, I've illustrated this in this way. I title it The Path of Correct Values versus Storms of Life. These images are not mine. They were drawn by the best of teachers, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now you can see on this part, the second illustration I was talking of, which is that of a square. You see now the Prophet ﷺ illustrated someone, you can see this straight line, this man, human being, I am sure you can see it from there, as he moves from one calamities, or if you like trials, or if you like problems of life and the other, and at the end of the day, he meets his ajal here. And this also illustrates another saying of the Prophet ﷺ, in which he said, at dunya sijnul mu'min. You can see this like a prison. At the end of the day, man is going to die. But in the process of doing that, you have to maintain the path of rectitude, the path of correct values. And this is shown in the second illustration of the Prophet ﷺ, this particular one. You can see in the middle here is a straight path, And then you see on this other side, that path of other values which a Muslim is not supposed to uphold. So this is the path of rectitude, or the path of correctness, or the path of what the Prophet was mustaqim, which we always pray for in our salat, Hidina Siratal Mustaqim. This is part of the right value. And we're talking about youth. How does a Muslim youth navigate through the second illustration, and how does he actually move on the part of the first, the first illustration, which is the part of the right part? Now, there is a verse of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, probably the only verse where he mentioned the word youth, or young man, probably, unless you want to, use another derivative, but the word fit here. The Prophet ﷺ says here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّا نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ نَبَاهَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, the people of Ashab al-Kahf. They were youth, according to Allah. They were youth who believe in Allah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increased them in guidance. You can point out three things from here. Number one, these people, they were youth. Number two, they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number three, Allah now keeps them on the path of rectitude, the one we described here, the second part. And don't forget also, these people face a lot of oppositions, a lot of challenges from their enemies. And this actually shows that they were able to navigate, the illustration about challenges, the square illustration, by being on the right path, believing in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and as a result of that, Allah keeps them, on Siratul Mustaqim. Now, you can see the illustration I have here. Malam Hassan has told us about what he believed to be youth. Youth is somebody between these two ages. You see the old man here, you see the young man here. Now, you see both of them are weak. That youth, the person between these two ages, the age of an old man, the age, of a toddler or of a young kid, right? He has a lot of energy. He has a lot of spirit. He has a lot of psychological, steam in him. Now, if it is not well directed, such a person will definitely go astray. Now, how does he direct it so that he keeps himself on the path of rectitude? There is what I call the 3H. What are the 3H? He has to take care of his health. He has to take care of his head. He has to take care of his hands. Now, the heart of a Muslim should be filled with Iman. Don't forget, go back to the ayah we quoted the other time. إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى. So he has to fill his heart with Iman. And the corollaries of Iman, such as fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, what do we mean by the value of the head? That means that he has to always strive for holistic knowledge. Then what do we mean by the value of the hands? This represents action. In other words, a Muslim is not a noisemaker. A Muslim is not that person who just talks about doing things or having something in his heart without translating and implementing it in his action. he should always work for the betterment of himself spiritually, psychologically, intellectually, and the betterment of the society, as well as the betterment of the Muslim Ummah. I've illustrated this here also. You see, the heart should be clean. يوم لا ينفع مال ولا بنون إلا من أتى الله بقلب سليم. The day of judgment, nobody will have anything to benefit from his wealth or their wealth, or their accumulations, or whatever they had in this world, except that person who has a clean heart. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a heart that submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is at peace with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is endowed and imbued with the right moral values of Islam. And then we have, I've illustrated a young man here, he has to right knowledge, put the right knowledge in his head, and he has to actually ensure that there is a coordination between all these three: his heart, his hands, and his head. And this is what a particular scholar I'm going to mention as I go on, called right place with Allah, his head in the right place with the right knowledge, and his hands in the right place with the right action. That is Homo Islamicus, somebody who is an Islamic man who is imbued and endowed with Islamic value. Now let us explain each, this one after the other. The first value of a Muslim concerns his heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not hold you responsible, for your unintentional hold, but He holds you responsible by what your heart does, what your heart holds. What is filled, what your heart is filled up with. Now, it should be the heart should be first filled with iman, and that is quite important. And then not only being filled with iman, but then you should always renew the iman. You should always strengthen the iman with all those things that we are required to strengthen our iman with. Now, when you are talking of iman is something special. There is what we can call general iman. You believe in Allah, okay, right? Then there is also special iman that is strong. Like our scholars have told us, iman increases and decreases, and you have the iman of believers, which is always being strengthened by one way or the other with the right action. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told some people, desert Arabs, who boasted with being believers, Allah told them, you have no faith, but you only say, we have only submitted to Islam. Because the real iman, the strong iman, the kind of iman I want us to focus on this particular presentation has not entered your heart. So it is important as Muslims that we try to strengthen our iman. And one of the ways of strengthening it is with another value, the value of zikr. Constant reminder of ourselves, of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You remember Allah, you are always in constant. I know some of our brothers, they will never do without zikr. They will always say subhanallah, alhamdulillah, and they are doing it as it comes out from their heart. Now, another very important value is al-ikhlas, which is to do things only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because all our actions shall be judged according to our intention. If you do something for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for people, either to oppress people or to impress them, and of course, you have not done it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it will be so rejected. Then another very important value is at-taqwa and al-khawf wal-raja. Let me put it that way. Al-khawf wal-raja. You should always, be in constant fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Constant fear of Allah. And at the same time, you balance it up with hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. According to Imam Ibn Qayyim, in his book Madarij as-Salikin, he said, and I quote, you can see the quote here, the heart on the journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the exata is like that of a bird. Love is his head, fear and hope are its 2 wings. When the head is heady, then the 2 wings will fly well. When the head is cut off, the bird will die. When either of 2 wings is damaged, the bird becomes vulnerable to every hunter and predator. Now, the next important value, that we need to take note of is that of knowledge. What goes into our head? When we are talking of knowledge, we are talking of holistic knowledge. The knowledge, that encompasses all the basic requirements of the deen from the Quran and the Sunnah, as well as the knowledge that will keep us, from begging other people for livelihood, and as well as knowledge that will be of beneficial to people or benefit to people, in our interaction and intercourse with them. Don't forget, our scholar, the person who founded this particular organization, IIIT. I don't know how many of us know the story of Ismail Al-Faruqi, Professor Ismail Al-Faruqi. There is what is called, knowledge with Tawhidic paradigm. And this is the basis of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. You should know that there is no God but Allah. In other words, all kinds of knowledge should revolve around Tawhid. Whether it is knowledge of this world or knowledge of the hereafter. In fact, some of our scholars, they said that the prayer in the Quran, Rabbana atina fid dunya asana wa fil akhirati asanata wa qina azaban. Some of them, they said that in fact, al-hasana fid dunya is ilm, knowledge. And the asana fil akhirah is jannah. Majority of scholars, they have other interpretation. But if you look at even this interpretation by some of our mufassirun, it also goes back to the other interpretation of other scholars who look at these two words, asana fil dunya or asana fil akhirah, in other ways. Because according to a hadith, authentic hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, is to read the dunya. If you want this word, alayka bil hilm, you should face, you should take care of knowledge. And if you want the hereafter, you should also take care of knowledge. So it comes to us to show us, in any case, the importance of looking for knowledge of the deen and beneficial knowledge of dunya, whether it is in science or health or social sciences, diplomacy, art, literature, philosophy, business, politics, welfare, and so on and so forth. It's not surprising. It is not, coincidence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Iqra in the first part, read. So, and in fact, the Quran itself, it means something that is constantly read, and also something that you reflect on by reading and put into practice. There is also a very important popular hadith of the Prophet sallallahu a word of wisdom, or if you like, wisdom is a lost property of the believer. Wherever he finds it, he is most deserving of it. So that is the third value that we, as Muslims, we need to actually look at. Now, that of the hands. If you look at the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, those who believe in Allah and they also practice whatever they believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They put their faith into practice. So, the value of the hands here, we are talking about implementation, or if you like, enforcement. Amalu ijabi, positive actions. Actions of ibadah, be serious with your salat. When you do that, then the value of hand is taken care of. Of ihsan, worshiping Allah the way you ought to be worshipped, as if you are seeing Him, as said in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and being good to people. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us that even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself, Allah has decreed excellence upon every action and everything. In other words, it is not only just ordinary action, but action that is beautiful, that is so good. In Nasaya of Euro, according to Tafsir al-Jalalain, we are told that it means that your good action here, good action, not just action, good beautiful action, will be seen here, by the believers and the people, that you are on the right track, and then in the day of judgment, it will be inspected and it will lead you to Jannah if it is correct action. And when we are talking of action here, we are talking of all our actions, not just one part of our action. Our action, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, invite the way of your Lord with wisdom and beautiful teaching, and or the dealing with letting here Hassan, and then you should engage the non-Muslims in the best of way with ihsan, inna rabbaka huwa alam biman dalla an sabilihi wa huwa alam bil muhtadi. So this is about that particular. So in doing all this, the Prophet ﷺ is our best exemplar, in terms of what should be in our heart, in terms of what should be, in our head, in terms of what should be, in our action. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ sex. Is it in line with what is stipulated in the Kitab and Sunnah, or is it based on our laws? So this is what we mean by good character and decency. And the Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said that nothing is heavier upon the scale of the believer on the day of resurrection than good character. Verily, Allah hates the vulgar, indecent, obscene, uncultured person. So in general, when we are talking of the value of our hands, it is about some of what following Allah and then following the Prophet ﷺ. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in this particular verse. You can read it for the sake of time, but I want to be fast so that I will finish on time. We have used a lot of time. Now, decline and derailment and deviation. Now, what happened? These are the values. Then where are the followers of these values? Now, this is where the problem is. One of the visible signs of decline of the Muslim Ummah is the derailment of our youth. Many explanations and expositions have been put forward by many of our scholars. Now, I'm going to use two scholars. I'm using these two scholars for one or two reasons. These two scholars I'm going to use to explain the decline and derailment and deviation of the Muslim Ummah, particularly our youth, from these values. They lived in more than time. One of them died in 1973, and the second died in the 60s. And one of them lived in Algeria. The second one lived in Turkey. Both of them were living under the Ottoman Empire. We all know the Ottoman Empire. The decline of the Ottoman Empire marked the official decline of the Muslim Ummah. So I'm using these scholars because they saw the Muslim Ummah declining. They saw when it happened, and then they provided some explanation. Now, one of them is a scholar. Okay, let me first of all talk about. Let me put some preamble to that before I come to those scholars. When we always say that the reason for the decline of the movement is Quran and Sunnah, deviation from Quran and Sunnah, isn't it? But in what specific ways, did that happen? Now, when the Muslim declined, right, the Quran, as the Prophet was no longer with us. The revelation of the Quran had stopped. But then we could have, a lot of provisions in the Quran that could be used to explain it, especially in terms of what happened to people before us. Now we know of the case of Banu Israel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described their decline as follows. Allah says, فَخَلَفَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَخَلَفَ مِنْ بَعْدِهِمْ خَلْفٌ أَدَاءُ الصَّلَاةَ وَاتَّبَعُوا الشَّهَوَاتِ وَسَوْفَ يَلْقَوْنَ غَايًا. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the Banu Israel. Now, from this particular ayah, you could see that the summary of decline of Banu Israel, as expressed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that ayah, can be summed up, or if you like, it can be summed up with the word materialism in two meanings. Now, the first sense is what I call scientific materialism, which divorces human affair from spirituality, usually through secularism. Sorry, that is secularism. In other words, a kind of belief or ideology that thinks, or sees, religion, specifically in this context, Islam, as something that should be divorced from life. And many of us must have heard some Muslims, when you are discussing or conversing with them, they will say, brother, please, salam alaikum, please don't bring religion into this matter. Please don't bring religion into this matter. So this is the sense I'm talking of, here. Now, the second one is what I call economic and social materialism, that worship worldly enjoyment. This makes you to place the enjoyment of this world, over the felicity of the hereafter. And then you don't care about what you do. In other words, you follow your laws, as Allah says, whatever usawat. These people, they follow their own personal desire. They take, their desire as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Instead of following Allah, it is whatever their desire tells them to follow. So let me go back to the two scholars I mentioned the other time, who try to use these two instances of materialism to explain, the lot of the Muslim Ummah, particularly the youth. The first one is a scholar called Ustaz Said Nurs. He lived in Turkey, and he was imprisoned many times by Kemal Ataturk. He wrote, in fact, many of his books, in detention. His belief is that the greatest challenge of our time is that of faith, and derailment of our youth, in our faith, is the reason for the decline of the Ummah and its youth. He said, therefore, to revive the Muslim Ummah, we need to work on our faith and our values. That's exactly all the values I mentioned. There is a book he wrote. Actually, it was a lecture delivered at the Umayyad Mosque, probably in 1950 or something like that. He titled "Message to the Youth," and he mentioned some of these things. Now, the second scholar is Malik Menebi. I don't know how many of us have heard about these scholars. Particularly this one. He's an Algerian scholar. He also lived under the Ottoman Empire. In fact, he was born in a place called Constantine, which is an extension of the Ottoman Empire. And he saw when the Algerian, nation was actually, colonized by the French, and he saw the consequences of that. So, in his own view, he believes that the decline of the Ummah is as a result of our spiritual and intellectual laxity, and therefore, concluded that to revive the Ummah, there is a need for both spiritual and intellectual values of the Ummah to be revived. What are those values? Exactly all those ones I mentioned. The value of Iman, the value of knowledge, and the value of the right action. Now, Malik, Dr. Malik, this is his illustration. Now, look at this graph. Sorry, I'm a teacher. I do a lot of illustration, and I hope you will not be bothered by all this illustration, but just to simplify what I have to say. This is exactly what this particular sheikh, this is the picture he drew. You can see from 0 to A here, you see that is the first period of Islam. When the period the Prophet Islam referred to as the best, Khairu Qarn, the best of the generation. Now, he said after that period, there was this period of people usually call the golden period of Islam, when there was a lot of scientific accomplishment. But there were some problems here and there. So that period also, the Muslim Ummah, was the leader of the world. Europe was learning from the Muslim Ummah, but it cannot be as good as the first period, this period between 0 and A. Now, after that period, then we have period of decline. You can see. So unfortunately, this is the period we are now, this period of decline. But of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised us that if we go back to our values, we do the right thing, He is definitely going to do the right thing for us as well. And this is what this particular ayah in Surah An-Nur is all about. Allah has promised to those of you who believe and do improving deeds, that He will most certainly make them successors on the head, as He made successors before, and that He will most certainly strengthen for them their religion, with which He has been pleased, and that He will most certainly, after their fear, give them security in exchange. They become servants to me, they do not associate anything with me. Whoever denies after these it is who are the first. You can see Allah has actually promised us that if we go back to our values, we are going to go back to our beautiful way of life. Now, my conclusion, by way of what I call self-reflection. I have said we should go back to our value, but in doing so, we need to ask ourselves important question. Where am I? I'm asking myself now, where am I as far as these values are concerned? And how can I improve on these particular values? These are questions I try to put to myself every time, and which I want to advise, especially the youth who are on this program, to always pose to themselves. Our decline from these values do not only have impact on us, but also on our society, particularly uh, the Ummah. So for the sake of time, I would like to stop here and entertain questions. Thank you very much for listening. Jazakumullahu khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you very much.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. Tajudeen. That has been a very wonderful presentation. So many people have been saying with full of illustrations. I said they don't know that Dr. Tajudeen is a philosopher and he likes to philosophize issues. Thank you very much. But maybe as we go on, so many questions will come so that he will break down some of the philosophies. May Allah reward you abundantly, and may Allah assist, and may Allah continue to strengthen. Of course, as we see, both presentation is centered on youth, and there is a collective agreement on constant human capacity or human capital in terms of developing the youth, either in leadership, either in technology, and so on and so forth, so that the youth is encapsulated and is having the veracity and tenacity to be able to operate within so many challenges that bedevils him, particularly in what some of the IIIT books have said, the post-normal period. This period is seen as a post-normal period, i.e. it's not normal. There are so many things that are alien, and we need to subvert them and be able to, tackle them so that we maximize and come out with the best out of this very period. There are a lot of challenges that have been raised, and I think somehow the IIIT Central Nigeria will be documenting so that the arm that is in charge of looking at capacity building and capacity development will see how we'll be able to come up with something so that discussions and so on and so forth will take place during some of other sessions that we'll be having. But importantly, I want to say thank you very much, our presenters and speakers, for these wonderful presentations that you have all done. We'll be having there are I think questions we have seen. I don't know if the host can be able to read one of the questions, particularly from the brother of ours from Oman. I was having it earlier on, but my screen chat has gone off. So please, if the host will be able to assist us with the question from the brother from Oman. Yeah, it reads as follows. I want to especially appreciate IIIT for organizing this intellectual and spiritual engagement. I have two concerns. One, most schools immediately after the outbreak of COVID-19 closed down, and the situation continued for more than 5 months. This is a challenge for a country and the continent of Africa precisely. What can we, the Muslims, do to champion the IT revolution, especially in the education sector? I want to believe this question is for Madam Hassan Abdulazeez to look into. Then the other second concern, it's about fake news and the concept of people sharing voice note stating that they saw the prophet and he asked them to rely on certain information. Anyone that shares will be rewarded somehow, or who refuses also certain calamities shall befall such person. What is the position of Islam on fake news and actually compelling people to share such type of information? From our brother Abdulazeez, a senior lecturer with commercial law, Department of Modern College, Muscat, Oman. Thank you very much, brother Abdulazeez. Maybe let me re-invite Malam Hassan Abdulazeez to respond to this question. Malam Hassan Abdulazeez.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sorry, the first question is how to revolutionize IT. That's just somewhere in Africa. I think that's what he's saying. Especially with the current, with what we have experienced during the COVID-19. Actually, most schools were not prepared most schools were not prepared for the eventful. Not that nobody is prepared for COVID-19. It just caught the whole world unaware. But there are some structure that if you have on ground, you should be able to manage any crisis that will come before building on it. This is just showing us that the level Africa is now when it comes to the issue of IT. If you look at the table I showed then, from the beginning on the percentage of people using internet, you see that Africa happens to be the lowest. You understand? And let me tell you, the way IT is going, you don't need to be a computer person. You don't need to be a programmer. Everybody now. I could remember we have two prominent professors in our school. One professor, our dean postgraduate, he said before he used to have two things that he made compulsory upon his children. I think the first one, Islamic education. The second one, the normal Western education. But he said he has added another thing now. Because of the era he is not an IT person, he's a professor of civil engineering. He said he has added IT now. He has made it compulsory that he has to give his children IT education because of the role IT is playing in everybody's life now. In fact, if you want to eat, if you want to do everything, we have to encourage ourselves. We have to encourage the youth that everybody, you mustn't, in fact, most of the best programmers currently, most of them are not IT people originally. Like I have a friend, one of my friends, one of my best IT friend, that's cybersecurity friend. He read building technology. We have so many of them like that. We have to develop ourselves. I could remember I have a boy that happens to be his guy there in the school. I push him always do this, do that. Recently, he did a very good work. He said he discovered that before you go and buy food from where we used to buy food, it is far. Sometimes you go there, you don't see food buy, it is this, it is that. They'll complain, the food you want is not there. He developed an app to cover our entire school. So if you just sit down like that, most of the places that are selling food, you just click the app, you see the food available, you see what they are not having. Once you click and buy and you pay, instantly he position, he has given money to he pays Okada people for that. They will rush there and bring the food down to you in your office. We have to encourage ourselves like this before we get that IT revolution. Are we following? It is something, it is not a day work. It is something practical. And I told you, you don't need to go and get a degree in computer science now. No, we have so many things available now that we can learn something from. We have so many materials available online. It's just determination and direction. That's why I said it's something we need to organize always. We sensitize people, we teach them, we sensitize organizations, the risk aspect of it, the useful aspect of it. We just have to do all those things for a certain period of time. People that are the Asia, if you talk of programming today, we talk of Pakistan, the India, the Chinese, they didn't start just today overnight. No. You put it on your curriculum, you start like the way we do all this. In fact, in the entire Nigeria, we have to review our curriculum. All this, our archaic curriculum that we are still holding, Nigerian peoples and culture and other things, we have to put, I'm not saying we should not put them, but we have to make IT compulsory right from primary school to wherever you're going to do. And again, it has to be practical. The way we are going now, if you see most people working some places now, they don't have IT certificate. So we have to encourage our youth to do what? To learn IT, to develop themselves in IT in a way that what? That they will not need to wait for people to have something doing on their own. I've given so many examples in my previous lectures. It is something that has to be continuous, it has to be directed, and we have to, it has to be collaborative because we need to involve organizations, we need to involve government, and we need to involve what? Islamic and religious bodies to be able to achieve the aim. Let me put it on. And the second question is on the issue of fake news. Actually, thank God, if you see my slide, it's one of those things. I just call it what? Misinformation. It is something that is very serious online because in online, it is always very difficult what? It is always very difficult to verify an information. Like what, an example somebody gave, that there was a bomb blast. There was a bomb blast in a Twitter information. Somebody hacked Associated Press. They hacked their Twitter account and they wrote it there that there's a bomb blast in White House. He said, before you know, there was over 5 million tweets because of this information. People were just spreading it because of the sources coming from. You see, I just told you that I have a web. Those are issues we discuss always in my cybersecurity forum. We have so many websites, so many online this and that. Once you see a news like this, and you put it there, if it's a picture, if it's video, if it's new, if you put them there, it will tell you something is going to, those websites are going to tell you how long this news has been circulating. Even if it's a picture, if the picture has been edited to suit the purpose, it will tell you this picture has been altered this also time to suit a certain purpose. The video has been photoshopped, it has been edited. So until we enlighten people on this type of thing, so that if you get information, you go to those websites and you put them there. And in fact, there is a program that one of my project students was doing, then one of our projects was doing, that wanted to make open, but unfortunately, it will not complete. It's a website. No, it's a software that once you have it on your phone and you see information, either news or picture, and put it there, it will just search web to tell you how long it has been existing, how long, whether it has been edited, whether it has done that. We need to enlighten people on this, that this material are already available. The resources are available online so that they take full advantage of it. Again, this type of information the brother from Oman just said on the issue of somebody bringing something that Professor last night, they saw Prophet. It has been circulating for even before the online era. It has been circulating, and scholars have said so many things on it that what this thing is going to befall you, this is a complete lie. Nothing will befall you for not forwarding information to others. It is not from prophets. It is not from the past predecessor. There's nothing like that. Like what Umar Radiallahu said. He said, after the demise of prophet, that the revelation has stopped. So anything somebody is bringing now, we will not accept it until we judge it according to already existing revelation. We have scholars. We have websites that you can ask questions on. Those websites are already available. I just talk of Islamic Q&A now by Sheikh Salu Al-Najid. We have so many scholars on Twitter. You just go with their Twitter and add them before you forward anything like that. They are available online. So it is very simple. You don't need to worry yourself on it. Scholars are embracing the online innovation now. We can use them to our maximum capacity. So all those things are very simple. They're not issue again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much, Madam Hassan Abdulazeez. There's a question for Dr. Tajudeen. It reads, Dr. Tajudeen, in his presentation, he mentioned ikhlas, sincerity. Sir, in this era of showing off, many Muslims even go as far as posting the food they are about to eat on social media. What is your advice for those youth who might be doing it ignorantly? And I think also as an addendum, Dr. Tajudeen, there are people who, when they are praying or doing tahajjud at night or reciting Quran, they'll be snapping their pictures also. They'll be telling you tahajjud on point, or now I'm doing this tawaf, or tawaf, even if they go for hajj, saying now I'm in tawaf mood, now I'm in jamra mood, and so on and so forth, or now I have worn my haram. What do you say to all this, the ikhlas issue, and then whether what we should do as youth? Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Tajudeen.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for the question. The answer to that question is also in the presentation. I did mention in the course of the presentation that there are two very serious manifestations of materialism, which is the bane of Muslim youth today. The first one I said, when you are cut off from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because you think that religion is a private thing. The second one is love of dunya, and this is actually the most serious cause of a show off, the kind of show off the questioner is actually asked about. You want to show to the people that you are better off materially, or like Malam Muhammad Isa mentioned, even spiritually. So the cause is materialism, and the Prophet ﷺ has warned us very seriously about this. In a hadith, which is in Ibn Majah, the Prophet ﷺ was reported to have said that there is something I'm afraid for you more than even Dajjal. Of course, you know that Dajjal, if there is something more dangerous than Dajjal, probably it will be Shaitan himself, or probably Fir'aun. I think Dajjal is even more serious than Fir'aun from how the Prophet ﷺ described him. But the Prophet ﷺ is saying that for you Muslims of my generation, especially for you people of future generation, I fear for you the danger of Riyah, which is show off, or if you like, ostentation, more than Dajjal. And in that hadith, the Prophet ﷺ goes on to say that on the day of judgment, you will get to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will think that you have done a lot of good deeds, only for you to be disappointed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell you, why don't you go to the people to whom you show off, so that they reward you for what you have done? So what is the cure for this? The cure for this is simply to rid ourselves of materialism. But like I did say, Islam did not say we should not look for this word. No. And just like I quoted a verse of the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that the prayer of the Muslims include Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Right? So we should look for this word, but not in an ostentatious way, and not to oppress people or to unnecessarily impress people that we are better off than they are. And one of the dangers of this also is what the Prophet ﷺ has warned us about, al-hain, evil eye, evil eye, especially for those who want to show that their children are more beautiful. They parade the images of their children on Facebook, going to Washington or Texas, well, if your intention of putting on Facebook certain things is not, to show up, well, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may overlook. But it is even better for you not to overdo it, even if, it doesn't have any negative spiritual implications. So the issue of ikhlas is quite this important, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save those of us who are materialistic to the extent of displaying our lives on Instagram and so on and so forth. There is the story of a young man. I don't know whether you followed it on Russia Today. This young man, he wanted iPhone. I've forgotten the brand of the iPhone, but he wanted to buy two types of iPhone, the latest iPhone. I think it happened sometimes in 2011, but the effect happened to him just a few weeks ago, and it was in the media. He sold his kidney, one of his kidneys, just to buy iPhone. He was displaying it on Facebook, on Instagram, and so that I have this iPhone, or things like that. So now, what happened to him a few weeks ago? The other kidney generated. Now is currently on life support. So this is a material implication. The spiritual implication is even more than this. May Allah save us. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah khairan. We are most grateful. Thank you very much, the speakers, for a job well done. May Allah reward you abundantly. Let me hand over to the moderator, Malam Mukhtar Musa, who will continue from and pass other announcements and so on and so forth. Malam Mukhtar Musa, mashkura.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, Alhamdulillah, we thank everyone, the lecturers, the resource persons who were able to come to deliver this talk for us. May Allah Ta'ala reward us abundantly. We also give thanks to the organizers of this program who, by their means, allow us to have the program very, very important. We had wished that we have more time to discuss these matters because they are core issues and they are issues of eminent importance. We pray may Allah Ta'ala reward everyone, the participant as well. We pray may Allah Ta'ala reward every one of us. Inshallah, I will call the director of program to give the closing remark, and inshallah we will close the session after that. Dr. Adam Aliyu, are you with us?
Assalamu alaikum. Please, before Dr. Adam Aliyu speak, my attention has been called. Someone raised that there are questions asked earlier on that has not been answered. Can you kindly unmute yourself and ask the question, please? If you know you have typed in a question ab initio, please kindly unmute yourself and just ask the question.
I asked a question earlier on that about this Muslim Pro. We have it has been flying all over the social network that they are using those medium to at least monitor someone. So I asked the question that how true is it and how can we, protect ourselves from this vital or important software that people are using now, if it is true.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Mala Hassan, did you get the question?
Loud and clear.
Okay, please respond to that question, please.
Okay, I guess the question is from Engineer Umar Chepa, Engineer Malam Umar Chepa.
Yes, inshallah.
So actually, it's true. You see, this is something I talk to people always. Most of these apps we're seeing, I usually tell people, I say you download the app you need, not the one you want. You understand? You see, most of the apps before they work, they will ask you for so many access. We are going to access your contacts, access your picture, access your video, access this, access that, access your camera. All those things are always there. Actually, some of them are for better functionalities. But again, because let me tell you, we have to be sincere with ourselves. Most of those wonderful apps you are seeing, some of them are not from Muslims. I'm serious. Some are also from Muslims, but very nominal Muslims that they can easily trade in your details. I want to give you one example sometimes ago to a particular forum that we went to one conference. Unfortunately, I wasn't there. And somebody presented after the conference. My friend, they were just discussing among them the security personnel, there's all these SS and others, and a Jew there, somebody from Israel. So they were just discussing generally, and the man said that if they want to, please listen very well, that if they want to get information for a particular group of people now, religion also, a typical example, Muslim. And what they will do that they will design a very, very, very good and captivating application. That those people they know, maybe Quran or Hadith, that they know that Muslims will be, once somebody see it, people will be telling, see forum, how many times in our forum do we see this one sending that this application is out, this one, all this awaited application from side is out, this is that. Nobody cares to confirm whether it's from really that place or so. He said after a very captivating application that those people, they can't afford not to download it. And they put it online, they advertise it very well. And that is all. Once you download the app, it will be collecting data, your details, and be sending to those people. So this thing is there. And there are so many apps, again, that will help you to, that's why I said this is a very vast issue. In fact, if you want to discuss IT security alone, it's very wide. There are so many apps that can help you to know people that are tracking you, people that are collecting your information. Wherever there are so many codes that you can dial that will help you to know people that are tracking you and how to stop it. All those things are there. That we need to enlighten ourselves on computer security, cyber security, and all those things. The app, I learned the app is having about 98 million people that downloaded it. It's a very important number. And once they've linked you up, they'll be tracking you wherever you are in the world because you go out with your phones always. Those are the things we caution people on the app you download, especially there are some apps that you need very well. Okay, like this Zoom now. We need it for this type of program. You need them. Well, you can find a way of protecting your system so that it cannot access the place it's not supposed to access. But the one you don't need, I think if you just want it, it's better you stop it. It is very wide. It is something that is very disturbing. There is little you can do on it. So I am very happy with this IIIT lecture because it is an opportunity to reach to people over especially the Muslim youth, that you see, if you see some people, if they give you their phone, like so many people have brought their phone for me to help them solve one problem or the other, maybe recover their contact also. The phone will be very slow because it's loaded with so many apps. I usually tell them these things are not safe. You don't just download things because of the functionalities. You download them because you need them for core value. If not, you'll be trading in something far, far more important than whatever you think that application is doing for you. It is true, and we have to be very careful. We need very good apps that will help us to protect ourselves again. Some antivirus will be able to do it, and so many other applications. May Allah continue to protect us against the evil plan of the non-Muslims. And the Muslims themselves.
Please, let me quickly chip in something here.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to go for Salat. I'm back. I just want to chip in something here very quickly. I think it has to do with what we are talking about here. Technology, as it is now, is not in the hands of Muslims, whether we like it or not. You know, I think the root cause of all this, ailment, all these problems, is that we are not in control of the intellectual, academic, and economic fate of the world as it used to be. Like this what do you call it? This particular software, they might not be guilty, like they explain. It's possible that they might not be guilty because they explain that they actually rely on two particular technological companies, IT company, for their operations, and it is these people that are sharing or selling the data to U.S. military. So this is a challenge to us. Part of what I was talking about, that the value of the hedge. You understand? Mala Muhammad Isa, are you following now? It's not philosophy. So very simply, the value of the hedge. You understand? We have to go back, to actually take ownership of knowledge as it used to be. I don't know if you get me. So we'll never be able to solve this problem if we don't do this. Let me just give you another illustration. I don't know if you know that technology research, invention, patent, you get it, from Israel alone is more than that of the whole of Arab countries, including Saudi Arabia. Government, they spend money on luxuries and other things, you understand? Science and technology as it used to be. Otherwise, we cannot solve this problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tajudeen from Uganda.
Thank you very much. May I invite now Dr. Adamu for his remarks.
MashaAllah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. We thank Allah for these all important presentations, and we thank our guest speakers for their splendid presentations. Indeed, Even before thanking you for the presentations, we must also thank you for accepting the inconveniences we might have caused you, which we all knew this program would have come last week. But we had to request you for a pardon due to some development that came our way, that we could not have the program as earlier on planned for the 14th of this month. But as brothers in the struggle, you could understand with the normal trend in MSS, and you accepted wholeheartedly. And yet you have made 21st of this month a very wonderful day for these thought-provoking presentations you have made. So Dr. Tajudeen, Sanni, Brother Hassan, Abdulazeez, we say Jazakumullahu khair jaza for all these presentations. And to our teaming participants, we equally thank you for making the day lively and making it worthy of being well spent. We do hope as we stage other programs ahead, inshallah, you'll be able to make it a day in many folds. Automatically, inshallah, next week by this time, we should have been rounding up another presentation. That is Saturday, the 28th of this month. Yet another presentation is coming, very thought-provoking equally, inshallah. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And this, inshallah, brings us to the end of the program. Subhanallah wa hamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.